Puts up a tough shot. Bounces around. Goes in at the buzzer. Working it down to 2-1. A deep three. Oh!
It's Propulation.
That's how you win a game.
It's Propulation. We hustle every day to find picks. You can tell us if you want to get rich. It's Propulation. We robbing Underdog and PrizePicks. We the best in this biz. You ain't telling us shit. It's Propulation. We love making money quick, fast. Cooking up a team card. The whole crew about to smash. It's Propulation. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's cash. The dopest team you ever seen. Winning money, stacking G's. Bookies setting traps, but they'll never catch me. Some people get addicted like rats to the cheese, but I got one obligation to bring Johnny to his knees. Holding back the props till the morning he knows. They'll be fishing in the shack, plotting nukes with the pros. Only withdraw, never reload. Underrated to my amigos. We go with honest, we seeking the bloods. We know when a fucking cheat code. Party that I'm sweating, it can't be good for my health. Some might call it making bets, I call it investing in myself. I'm picking props like stocks, Propulation for the win. Got my sips in by the buzzer now, let the games begin.
Unbelievable. Just happened. He did it.
It's Propulation. It's Propulation. It's Propulation. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's cash.
Big Josh, what is up? We are live, sir.
What's up, guys? How are we doing?
Doing great. How are you? Get some sleep?
Yeah, pretty good, man. Gonna try to get through this as quickly as I can. I mean, it's 10 games, but yeah, I mean, it's opening day for all these teams, so not going in with the highest expectations in terms of props here, because yeah, a lot of new units, don't know what to expect rotation wise and how these new guys fit, so definitely tread lightly. The more data we get in, the better. As we get move forward, I think, you know, as bookies don't like catch up on something we pick up on early on in these early games in the season. I think that's where we usually have a pretty high hit rate, most successful, right? So something we just pick up on right away. So yeah, I looked through these games. It's, you know, the one thing we talked about and noticed is that all of them are really low totals, right? And we talked about this yesterday when I compared the team totals from the first game of the season to the season average. It was much less, so I think Vegas is onto that. A lot of it's just due to new teams trying to gel and guys trying to get in rhythm, in game shape, game form. So yeah, should expect some pretty low scoring games here. I think there's only one game above 230 total, and that's the first game. It's the Island game that starts by itself at 7:10 Eastern. So yeah, and there's one all the way down at 2.8, which is, to no surprise, the Heat and Magic, two of some of the slowest pace teams, and you know, solid defenses and usually low scoring games. So if you want some unders, that one you can definitely look into, but I think the lines are already pretty low and adjusted to that. So, but we'll get to that one. Pacers, Pistons. Pacers pretty heavy favorites here, man. Minus 205, but it's only a minus 5 spread in favor of Pacers, so it's not like they're big time favorites here. I don't think there's anyone that's double digit, or if I'm wrong. Yeah, no one's double digit favorites here. Even the Rockets at home against the Hornets. So yeah, I think everyone's on the Pacers here. You know, which makes sense if their offense is flowing like it can at that fast pace and ball rotation and in their threes and scoring in transition, then they can definitely put on the Pistons. But let's see what the Pistons do here at home. Both these teams are pretty much the same from last year, except there's one addition, a couple additions to the Pistons. They added Tobias Harris, who came back. You know, he originally played for the Pistons. And then they added Tim Hardaway Jr. So Tim Hardaway was questionable, but I think he was just ruled in. We'll see if he's actually starting, because, you know, who knows? I mean, in the Mavs, he was always used as a bench guy, but maybe they actually start him here. They also added Malik Beasley too. I doubt he starts. I assume it's gonna be Ivy, right? I don't know why they have him projected here. Let's see what RotoWire has. They have Ivy, yeah. So, yeah, Ivy, Malik will probably split some minutes here, and then, yeah, who knows what the small forward rotation. I mean, Azura Thompson was already ruled out, so that probably secures minutes for Tobias. We talked about last night. Tobias RA was at 9.5. I wish Azura was playing, but I still think I don't know. I still think we can attack the under on that because we know Cade's gonna rack up RA, Ivy can get RA, and Duren's definitely gonna get rebounds and a few assists. So I don't see Tobias racking up the boards and especially the assists here. Is it still at 9.5 in the books?
That I do not know.
It's still 9.5. Okay.
9.5 with the RA.
Well, DK bumped it to 8.5. It's the only book that did that on here. So let's see last season how he did with his RA. So if we get like a completely different team, so we gotta take this grain of salt to get out to. So it's like a little less than 50% hit rate on that. Head to head, he did not play the Pacers last year, so yeah. But completely different team, so can't really take much away from that. Yeah, I don't know. I would say it's like a mid-tier under because we have no idea what he's gonna look like. I think he could gel. I think he can take time to gel here. We saw last night with new guys on new teams that they really just kind of took a back seat and go into the motion. So I don't know. You can mark it on there as a filler piece possibly. Are his rebounds? They took it down on PrizePicks at least, and then I think they brought it back. It was at 6.5.
I see Underdog's 5.5.
Okay, so they brought it back at 6.5. That's interesting. There's been a lot of line movement on it. I just think the bookies just don't know what to do with it. We have no idea. But I mean, we know Duren is gonna soak up so many boards, and then Cade gets a lot of boards in the backcourt. So, and Tobias, we know how his rebounding is, man. It's always all over the place. He either gets like 4 rebounds or he gets 10.
Yeah,
he's just like he's one of those kids. I tend to take his under rebounds. My only concern is just the amount of shots going up from the Pacers here. And Azura being out, I mean, does he play big minutes? Because of that, I don't think they really have anyone else they can give a lot of run here. I guess they have Simone. They have Bobby Clinton from MBL. Yeah, I bet he plays 30, 34, 35 minutes here, so that's the only thing is the pace of this game for the rebounds. That's why I kind of like the RA under, because a lot of times he's just not playmaking at all, and you got to assume that Ivy and Cade are going to be doing most of the playmaking here, and Tobias will be on the wing a lot of the times. Other than that, man, I think all the lines are pretty tight in this game because like I said, the units are pretty much the same. The same matchups. We've seen them play each other 4 times last year, same conference. So I don't know. Being in the first game of the season, I wouldn't feel comfortable taking any overs. But then the matchup, it's going to be pretty scary taking unders because there's a lot of history. We know how these players do against each other. Like if you look at Cade last year, he had some really good games against the Pacers. Dropped over 30 in 2 of the games. His PRA, I'm pretty sure, yeah, he crushed the PRA in all 4 meetings. But that PRA is high, man. Like I just on the first game of the season. We know that Matherin, on the other side, we know Matherin loves playing the Pistons. He's talked about it. It's like, for whatever reason, I don't know his history, but It's like his nemesis calls it his rival, and he just gets up for this game. He dropped 15, 30, and 15 points in all 3 meetings against them. His PRA was really solid. 45 PRA one game. I think someone was out in the Pacers for that game. But yeah, I have no idea. I assume he's gonna probably play a similar bench role. I don't know if he plays more minutes this year or less. Carlisle probably plays around with that. Maybe it's probably just based on performance and how well he's doing off the bench. But you know how it goes with bench guys. But I think some books have his PRA at 17.5. I think PrizePicks, I want to say is still 16.5. Or did they take it down? Okay, they changed it to 17.5. It was 16.5 like an hour ago, so no value there on that then. One thing I was going to suggest, but yeah, it's never a fun click on a bench guy. But we know Matherin can get it done, especially in this matchup. Anything else from the Pacers? We covered the Pistons here. Yeah, I don't think this will be right. I think Neesmith has a starting role. A lot of people are on Nembhard. I think he's like the most popular play on the board. I never play that guy for his over, so I'm good on that.
Really? What's the play? What are people playing for him?
I just saw his points. Because he had that good playoff series against Boston.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. The guy, he can completely ghost you scoring wise and just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm good on him. I usually just do unders on him and his brother. But we can look at him real quick. 10 points or his line's 9.5. Sheesh. That's his 3 games last season. 13 points, 8 points, 7 points. So catch up a chat. What's up, Kevin? 2 best underdog picks. I'll let underrated. He's gonna monitor the underdog on that. It never loads right on my stuff.
Underdog. Yeah, we'll take a look.
This is the real NBA slate. It is the real NBA slate, but it not all the way real, right? Because it's opening day. What's up, Quinn? Got to get you on a stream soon, Quinn. Yeah, I don't know. Halliburton. He's either gonna hit 4 or 5 threes or not score at all. So, one thing, I was pointing out to the group, if you're in the first quarter props, there was some value. Most book, I think the DK and somewhere else had Siakam at 6.5 points. He hit this a lot last year. Remember the 5.5. And then Cade is at 6.5 points elsewhere too. Let me just double check if there's still that. Yeah, Cade is only minus 125 and under 6.5. And then Siakam is the even money line at 6.5 first quarter points on DK. So, that little point difference can really make a difference for first quarter, obviously. So if you're into first quarter sweats and you want a quick sweat, stack Cade and Siakam in the first game, and you're either going to cash out real quick or not. So I don't know. First quarters there's some advantages to them if you can find an edge, like if a particular rotation, if a guy's going to play the entire quarter or not. But yeah. It's a great matchup for Duran here, but his lines are all pretty juiced. Miles Turner, his first quarter points are normally 4.5. We used to play that a lot, but you really need him to come out and hit a 3 off the rip. So I think it's 4.5. Oh, it's all the way down to 4 flat now. That's interesting. So I don't know why they're doing that, because he's 5.5 on DK, minus 140 in the under. So really, it should just be 5 flat. Or 4.5, if that. I don't know why they bumped it all the way down to 4 flat. So, but with him, majority of his shot volume in the first quarter is going to be from 3 ball. So, the difference between 4 flat and 4.5, I don't know, not much for him. But unless he, gets some couple putbacks, maybe push at worst. It's not bad value. Not bad. I would say between him and Siakam here, but full game, I'm gonna stay away from this game. I know it's the highest total, but I think today with the approach, I'm kind of going in focusing on unders. I'm trying to stay away from overs as much as possible because we don't know how these guys are gonna come out. Yeah, we have preseason data, but like a lot what happens in preseason doesn't translate over to regular season. There's like no defense whatsoever in preseason, and coaches are trying out different rotations, different players off the bench. So yeah, I think it's hard to say if a player's going to come out on fire or not. So I'm going to focus more on the underside. Magic and Heat, like I said, you can look at unders for this game, but the lines are so low. Like Jimmy is at 19.5, Banchero's 21.5. That's his usual line. But his history, I mean, he's done pretty well versus them. Yeah, 25, 20, 23. He's like right there on the cusp. And then and like Franz is at 18.5. It's a good probably 3-point shooting spot for him here. We know he's gonna take some threes. And then they added KCP now. If you can find his 3-point prop, that would be interesting because we know that's probably all he's gonna do. And I assume the Heat are notoriously been bad against threes, so yeah. Maybe if they have his 1.5 threes, because I think his points are already so low at 8.5. I imagine his 3-point prop is 1.5. But let's see. Let's see what it's here. Yeah, okay, 1.5. There you go. Head to head. He's not played them, but on the season, yeah. KCP. It's about 50%. 50% hit rate on the 1.5 when he played in Denver. But I think they brought him in because the Magic they really struggled last year with their shooting big time. That's what killed them. Their defense was solid. Their scoring in the paint was solid, but they had no outside shooting. So I imagine they're gonna let him be the primary guy coming off of screens and trying to get open for 3-point shots, or just sitting in the wing waiting for his wing three. So. This game's ugly, man. I mean, Bam's all the way down to 16.5 points. I mean, we normally like to go under him, right? Underrated, but that's low, man. And he crushed him last season, so I don't know.
Yeah, any I don't knows, we just pass. There's so many games, so many days, so many props.
He's killed this point line. You look in the season, he's had look at that, like over 60% hit rate on this, man. Like I mean, I know a lot of the games Jimmy Butler was out, so let's see if we look at with Jimmy Butler in. Yeah, it goes down to about 48%. Well, it's still if you include the whole season, still above 60. Yeah, I am good, man. Seems like he was playing a lot better in the beginning of the season last year. This is like from game 1 on. So, one thing I was trying to do in this game, I was looking at the point combos under, because those are kind of interesting in the opening day. But they only had one for this game, and it was Jimmy and Kara. It's low though, or did they take it down? Oh no, sorry, 41 points. Whew, that would be a sweat. But yeah, when they added Franz and Bam. Yeah. Kind of thinking, if the game is really slowed down and less shots going up, the combo might be a little bit better than just taking one guy in that game environment. But these are pretty low lines, man. Pretty low lines. So this game's probably stay away from me, to be honest. Bucks Sixers. Like the Bucks here to win this game. We talked about yesterday. No Embiid, no Paul George. So we're probably gonna have Maxey, Gordon, Oubre, Caleb Martin, and Drummond. And then some combination, of Lowry, Ricky Council, and I think they said from the reports I read they're gonna prefer to give Council more run than Reggie Jackson, but we'll see. Maxey, man, he's gonna have free reign here to shoot. Obviously, because besides Oubre, I mean, Caleb Martin's not a shooter. I mean, Eric Gordon is, but at his age, I doubt his shot volume is going to be that high. because when he was on the Suns, even when the Suns had multiple guys out, his shot volume was still pretty low. We know Lowry has a low shot volume, and Drummond is just going to try to get putbacks and work near the rim. So Maxi's going to take majority of the outside shots here. I mean, he's going to take a ton of threes. I wish we had his 3-point attempt prop, but his PRA is high, man. It's 40.5. The only problem here is, like, we know the Bucks from last year. They're a little bit different unit though, but their defense on the perimeter and against guards on dropbacks was so bad. Guards just racked up points on them. So Maxey could go off. He could go nuclear here. Would not be surprised, but it's first game of the season. I like our odds for the under here. I mean, so if we put it, this is his PRA of 4.5. If we take Embiid, I can't. Okay, yeah, if we take Embiid out, let's go to the entire season. I mean, it's like these are all the games right here with Embiid out. I mean, he's barely going over this game to game. So, I mean, he has games where, you know, if he's dropping 35 plus points, then he's definitely going to go over here. I just think I think the playmaking will go down because he doesn't have many shooters around him. He already doesn't rebound much, so the RA under could be in play too, but they bumped it down already. Yeah, I mean, some of these where he went over was pretty soft matchups, right? Charlotte, Spurs, Knicks is a tough one. Miami makes sense. Washington. Minnesota, I mean, that was probably the toughest one he had. Or no, not Minnesota, sorry. Utah, no, it's easy. Atlanta and Houston. Yeah, I mean, these all make sense, right? Atlanta gave it up to the guards. Utah for sure. Washington, every position. Yeah, it's just the matchup is the only thing, and I don't know. He can definitely get it done. He can score in a flurry, but what do you think, underrated? Are you risk averse enough, or are you...
I'm cool with it. I wouldn't put my life on it, but I definitely feel like we have a little advantage there on the under. It's just so high, like you said.
It is.
He has to have his best game ever. He has to have his who was it yesterday that went crazy for the Celtics? Tatum. He has to have a Tatum game to beat us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of that game, Celtics almost broke the record for most threes in a game.
Right.
So talk about variance. He could get hot from three for sure, but even if he scores the points, he still has to get that RA, unless he drops 40 points. I think, let's see, I'm pretty sure a lot of books have him at 39.5, so we're getting a little bit of value here. Yeah, he's DK's 39.5, minus 120 on the under, some slide value. The matchup. It's a new matchup or he's gonna be going against from the Bucks, right? Because Gary Trent and Prince instead of Malik Beasley at the 2 spot. I mean, Trent historically has been a solid defender. Last year he wasn't. Took a big dip in his defense. Or last 2 years actually. So, but probably like him over Malik Beasley for the defense here. Yeah, I mean, Giannis should absolutely eat here against this front court and Caleb Martin and Drummond. So I think he's been dealing with the injury early on, but yeah, no Middleton. So if we take Middleton out here, his point line is 27.5. Yeah, so. Got over 56% hit rate on that. You know, Vegas is giving respect to the Sixers here. Like, even with Embiid and Paul George out, like the Bucks are only they opened or they were minus 3.5, and now it finally went up to minus 4 favorites here. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, You would think, yes, the Sixers are at home, but like you would think they would give more respect to the Bucks here, with no Embiid and no Paul George. I think last year their bench unit was a lot better too, because they had like Buddy Hield, and I can't remember, they had a lot better bench pieces than this right here, this current configuration. So I don't know why Vegas is giving that much respect here on this one, unless they just think Maxi's is gonna carry the team on his back, which he could.
That's why it's called betting, right?
Yeah. But yeah, Giannis should have a great game. It's just you're paying for high lines here, but I'd probably just say if you like him, you just play his points. Let's see, where were we? Which game? Nets Hawks. Yeah, this should be. I hate to say it, this should be a really good game for Trae Young here. No more DeJounte, who ate up everything, like usage, scoring, playmaking. And then the Nets, like their backcourt defense is going to be horrible, right? So like he's going to get a combination of Schroeder, Ben Simmons, well, probably even if Ben Simmons starts, it'll be mainly down in the post. But yeah, Schroeder, Keon Johnson, or Shake Milton on and then probably see some Cam Thomas too, man. Trae could absolutely eat, but it's Trae Young, man. Rely on that guy. It is very scary, very scary. He was 20. I think he opened at 25.5 points, so he's all the way up to 26.5 now. Let's look at his head-to-head. He torched him last season, and this was early in the season too. This is November and December. I mean, dropped 43 on him and 30. If you look at his PA, he had 52 and 39 PA. They just keep juicing his lines, though. I mean, he was 36.5 PA. He was 25.5 points. So I don't know. Maybe if you need like a goblin piece or something like that for parlay filler, I would do like his alted points a little bit lower now that they've juiced it. Did PrizePicks juice it up more? Okay, so he went from 25.5 to 26. Yeah, man, it's never a fun click on Trae, but scheme wise, like he should go off here. One thing that caught my eye, interest underrated, I think you'll like it too. Or old reliable.
What's that?
Dennis Schroeder.
Schroeder?
Yes. Now, I read some things like Simmons. I think he's gonna start. We'll have to wait for the official lineup, right? But I think there's like a bunch of stuff going on with Simmons. Like, this is his contract year. He wants to prove like that he should be here, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll go get one. And yeah, he could. They say they want to give him a chance, and he could start. And if he starts, then that's obviously going to affect Schroeder's RA and playmaking. So I wanted the under assist, but it bumped down to 6 flat. Maybe if you find it in a book at 6.5, and it's not, the juice isn't crazy on it. And Ben Simmons starts. I like that. Yeah, and the lines I think are just too high. I now there's two confounds, right? The one, it's the Hawks, and we know how bad their defense was last year. Two, it's a revenge game. He played majority of his career with the Hawks, so could be a little bit extra motivation. But the fantasy is what I was thinking. So he's barely getting stocks. I think his stock prop is at 1.5, and there's like massive juice on the under on it. So I think
Poor Dennis Schroeder.
Sorry, give me 1 second. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute. Can you look at Underdog, his lines? I'm thinking his PRA or his fantasy.
Yeah, look. Also, while he is away, if anyone's into football and tackles, oh my gosh, they just added Jared Verse on books at 6.5 total tackles. And Jared Verse should not be 6.5 total tackles. He was at 4.5. And Troy Reeder got ruled out for tomorrow, which is their inside linebacker. Jared Verse is their outside linebacker, so I don't see anything that's going to change with him. He's not a 7 tackle kind of guy, but I tried to post it in the Discord already. Or I did post it in the Discord already, but as we're sitting here waiting for him, let me look on Outlier at his tackles in the last few games, because I just wanted to bet that before they took it off the board. 6.5? If you can find Jared Verse, go under 6.5. I'm telling you guys, at least a full unit. Nothing crazy, but definitely a good play, I think. Let's see if I can find him here. Can't see my screen. I should have it so you could see my screen, but I'll just tell you what it says. Let's see. So on, where's he at? Here we go, Jared Verse. On Outlier, look at his total. Ooh, he's already down to 5.5. Wow. He was just 6.5 minus 120. Now he's 5.5 minus 150. Whoa. Okay. Well, Fliff had him at 6.5 minus 125. Let's look. See if we can still get that. Oh my gosh, it moved already. Okay, well, there you go. Hopefully somebody got it. I threw it in the Discord at 6.5. Wow, it already bumped a whole tackle in 10 minutes. Okay, makes sense. It should have never been 6.5. So hopefully somebody got it at 6.5 in the Discord. I'm sure a few people did. Actually, I know a few people did, so that's dope. Let me see if his solo tackles are still here. I think they're on Underdog at 3.5. I really don't mind that. We could go under the 3.5 solos, but I like the total 6.5 so much better. Because then that means he needs 7 tackles. He could get lucky and get 4 solo tackles, but 7 total tackles for an outside linebacker in a game against Minnesota. It's not even a good matchup. I don't see him getting 7. Anything's possible, but yeah. If you guys can find Jared Verse under 6.5 total tackles, get him in. Matt, yeah, the 3.5 works, but it's definitely not as good because if you think about it, he could have four just kind of lucky plays. You know, I mean, it could happen. It's still, I still think it's a good play though. He shouldn't get 4 solos. Definitely, if you can't get the 6.5, maybe do the 3.5 at a half unit or something like that. But yeah, he's he dropped on Fliff so fast. Let me see. I have one other site I could check. Let's see what Heritage has here. Good old offshore site. Sometimes they don't move as fast, if they even have it. And then I'll get back to basketball. Sorry, guys. Try to get this value in before it moves. My dog thinks so too. Hold on one second. Loading slow. Oh, he's back. He's back. I was just telling him like 15 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago, they dropped Jared Verse linebacker for the Rams at 6.5 tackles because the inside linebacker got ruled out and they totally messed up. And they threw the outside linebacker at 6.5 tackles. He should be 4.5. So I was telling them grab that if they could. Put it in the Discord too. And then it bumped to 5.5 right before my eyes in like 10 minutes. So yes, back to Schroeder. I'm still just trying to see if I can find. I don't think he's going to be here.
They just keep bumping him down, man. He was 24.5, now he's 23.5.
He's the Jared Verse of football today, of basketball. Yeah, they don't have him here. Okay, well, if anyone got 6.5, they're probably going to make some money.
What? They don't have what?
The Jared Verse for the Rams. He popped on the board right when you said that. Yeah. They fucked up.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that in and I posted it in the Discord. What was the? Let me look at Schroeder now. You wanted me to look on Underdog?
Yeah.
Let's see. Schroeder. Let's see. Underdog murders PrizePicks nowadays. 23.5 PRA. What was the other thing that you wanted?
Do they have his fantasy?
His fantasy. They do not.
I think that's where the edge is at. I mean, he could get a couple lucky stocks here. I mean, obviously the assists rack up because they're 1.5, but like, I mean, he's at 1.5 stocks minus 220 on the under. So if even if he gets like one stock, yeah. The only problem is like it's Atlanta. That's the major thing here. But I think it's just wait and see. I think if Ben Simmons is starting, I would feel pretty good about it.
Big Rance here. What up, bro? He said, let's go, Propulation.
Yo. Yeah, I think yeah, let's wait and see. Let's see the starting lineup. You have to move quick because maybe if Ben's starting or something weird's happening, then they might adjust his lines even more so. But okay.
So what would you be sitting waiting for if he's not in the starting lineup? You smack the under 23.5 PRA.
Oh no, if Simmons is in the starting lineup, then yeah, I would consider like Schroeder's definitely his assists under, but it's 6 flat. If you can find in books elsewhere 6.5, I would take it.
So assists over PRA.
Yeah, Ben's starting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I would do that, and then I would also consider the fantasy under Ben starting.
Okay,
but we'll see. We'll see. We don't know what the lineup's gonna look like, so it's kind of a wait and see on that. Yeah, looks like what's the best value you can find on his assist under?
Big Ben.
I'm only talking Schroeder. Oh wow, a lot of books already bumped him to 5.5 from 6.5.
Schroeder.
Damn. So it looks like out of the major books, looks like DK is the only one that still has him at 6.5 at minus 140. Maybe you can find it on Fliff.
Let's look at Fliff. Good old Fliffy.
I'm sure Fliff bumped him to 5.5 too. They're usually pretty
most of the time
conservative on that. That sucks. Okay, well, maybe the bookies know too, or read those reports as well. So try to find an edge on that. But it is Atlanta, so
5.5 plus 110 for the under.
Yeah, we missed it. Yeah, Jalen Johnson, I really like this season. I think expecting a big season from him. I just don't like this matchup, the pace. He actually didn't do that great against them last season either. He played 35, 33 minutes, 40 minutes, and he only had 16 PRA. That's weird. That's some of his worst games. Obviously, a little bit different Nets unit this year, but I don't know. I just think I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to wait and play him. I definitely want to get exposure to him going forward. I'm hoping he kind of has like a mid game today, and then his lines kind of drop a little bit for the next game, because I just think with DeJounte gone, he's going to get more usage and play a bigger role and get even more RA. So, yeah, I think I'll wait on him today, but see how he does. Hopefully he doesn't go nuclear and make his lines even higher. But yeah, recapping that game, Trae Young, phenomenal spot. But they keep bumping his lines up, and it's first game of the season. You know how that is.
Mm-hmm.
Players are rusty, so playing that is not a comfortable click, but definitely makes sense matchup wise. And then Clint will be Clint. He can definitely do his thing here. See how he did against Clax last season. See his PR. Yeah, did well. I'm assuming that one of these games Jalen was out. Yeah. Missing players. Trae Young. Jalen was out for this game. Yeah, so like 2 of the 4 of these games, either Jalen was out or Trae Young was out. And Kongwu was out. That's big for that one too. And he still barely got over 21. His line's 20.5 for PR. Yeah. That's about it, man. I don't I mean, Cam, great spot for him, but his line is pretty high. I mean, all last year his line was always 22.5. 24.5 is steep in the first game of the season. Looks like he only played the Hawks once last season, 27 minutes. He had 6 points. I remember that game. I remember we were on his first half and he did nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember, Lonnie Walker was out. Yeah. So thought more his minutes were secured. Nope, he only played 27.
DZ's here. DZ says, let's go, fam. Smack soccer today. DZ.
Let's go, DZ.
I think he swept. I saw on the Discord.
Oh, hell yeah. Man, look at this. I mean, 30, that's not what you want to see. 32% hit rate on the road here. Goes up a little bit at home. He's like at 48%. But this is in Atlanta, right? Yeah, it's in Atlanta. Drips all the way down to 32% on the road here. Still a great spot. No DeJounte makes the defense even weaker for the Hawks against the 2-guard. So the scoring will be there. It's just like the line is just so high. I don't know if I can do it. What do you guys think? Chat, if you like anything else from this game. Only thing I really had was looking at is wait on the starting lineup for possibly shorter unders, and then maybe take some altered line with Trae Young. His playmaking is going to be back up to what it used to be with DeJounte gone, obviously. Rockets and Hornets. What do we got total wise here? We got, trying to get through this quickly. I'm going to skip over some games, so we'll be here all day.
Bren has a Rockets play. He says Sengun RA. He loves Sengun RA.
Yep. As long as Jabari doesn't get a ton of rebounds. I hated that last year when like Jabari would switch off. Like one of them would get all the rebounds and just like completely kill each other for rebounding potential. But let's look into that. So Rockets only -8, which is kind of surprising. I think the Rockets should stomp them here, but we got a fully healthy LaMelo now. So who knows? Let's look at Sengun and his RA. Wow, it's up to 14. Didn't it open at 13.5? It's 14.5 now? Or was it always 14.5? Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. But head to head, one of these games. This game he played 25 minutes. It was a blowout. It was like, they won by 34. Other game, they only won by 9. He still only played 27 minutes. 11. I assume, like, if he would have played his normal 30 minutes here, he would have got that. All right. I mean, he had 13. Only limited 25 minutes. He probably didn't even play the fourth quarter. But let's take it. Let's make it. He plays at least 30 minutes or 29. What does it look like on the season here? Got about 54% hit rate. It's right on the dot. He averaged 14 RA. It is a really good spot for him. Scoring wise, he struggled against Nick Richards, I know, in that game. He had 11 points, but again, he only played 25 minutes, but still he only had 11 points. I didn't watch him in the preseason. I went back and looked at him. I mean, he was playing like starter minutes for preseason. But he's coming off that nasty knee injury, so I have no idea. I haven't seen how he looks. But if you like him, Ren, totally makes sense in this matchup for sure. Also, a really good spot for Jalen Green. Although I will say, I mean, he's gonna have Brandon Miller on him, who's actually, his defense is only gonna get better. The more experience he gets, because coming off his rookie year last year. He tends to foul a lot though too, so Jalen could get to the free throw line quite a bit here. But let's see. Last year, he dropped 36 on him, and he had 57 fantasy points in that game. He only played 28 minutes. That's crazy, and he had 57 fantasy. Big reason why they won by 34 was because of Jalen. his line's low. It just feels low at 19.5 points. I don't know. It maybe it's just because of the opening day. I think if you think it, only concern is if it blows out. But I mean, you saw last year in the 34-point blowout, he still got there. Yeah, I would say either Sengun or Jalen Green something here if you want an over. It's probably the only game environment I really feel good about overs here in this slate, given the matchup, and expect big things from the Rockets playing under Udoka more and starting to, this unit's been together, they're experienced together, so yeah. But yeah, I would say, man, Jalen's maybe points or fantasy. The fantasy is pretty low at 32. The PRA is at 20.5. He's got about a 50% hit rate on that. Head to head. Yeah, he dropped 50 PRA on him. And the only person was out was Jabari? Wow. Yeah. Good spot. Good spot for Jalen Green. What do you guys think? You guys want any overs here in this matchup, or do we think it blows out and they don't get there, or do we think the Rockets come out a little bit rusty, both teams? Like a lot of first games. I mean, the total is almost 230, I think. Second highest total, right? What was it? 229. There's another one that's 229.5. And then the top highest is the Pacers, so yeah.
I'll tell you what I think about overs.
What? Oh yeah. yeah. That's the only one I would have like a slight lean on, would be Jalen Green. So nothing from the Hornets side. I'm good. Yeah, totally good. I life is good without playing Hornets. Bulls, Pelicans. Zion is still questionable, so this is hard to say, right? I think he's still game time decision. Or he didn't even go through shoot around, is last I read. So I don't know. That doesn't sound promising for him. He was not present at Wednesday's shoot around, and he missed practice on Tuesday. So yeah, I mean, if he plays, man, I doubt he plays that much. He's sick. Okay. Well, that kind of sucks because I with them adding DeJounte, and I'm pretty sure DeJounte's on track to play and make his debut on the team. I kind of wanted some Ingram unders here, even though it's Chicago. Like, we know Chicago can get burned defensively, but the PRA, man, I think his RA was already like all over the place last year, and now you throw in DeJounte. I just think with DeJounte, Zion, and CJ, I just don't see Ingram racking up RA here, especially against a slow-paced Bulls. I assume the Bulls are still going to run a slow half-court offense with Billy Donovan. So I was thinking PRA or fantasy under, but that's not going to work out if Zion's out. So might have to pass on him. Wait for another game, better matchup. Hopefully he does well and they bump his lines up a little bit more. But it's something to monitor. I just think he was already kind of on the cusp of getting shipped out of this team, and it just kind of seems like they don't want him part of this team. I wouldn't be surprised if he's traded mid-season either. I think they were trying to deal him in the offseason, but they just didn't work out. So yeah, DeJounte is going to eat up so much on this team for sure, especially with playmaking. Because they needed a true point guard. Bull side, I never played Bulls. DeRozan's gone. Levine missed majority of last season. I mean, I can't trust this guy at all. Giddey, talk about trusting the most untrustworthy. I have no idea how he's gonna do so on this new team. I can maybe consider unders on him, but it's risky. We have no idea. We have preseason data, and that's it. And we need to first see how he looks with the team. Lonzo's going to play about 15 minutes, 14, 15 minutes. So That's why his PRA is at 9.5. It's pretty much like playing a first half prop. Good to see him back, but yeah, that seems very risky. But yeah, I think once Lonzo's playing big minutes, it's really going to help the defense on the perimeter, which the Chicago needed help with big time, right? Because they would bleed assists and 3-pointers. So once Lonzo's playing solid minutes, that should definitely help. Giddey though, that's a major downgrade from Caruso. So yeah, I think this new unit's probably going to struggle early on. It might struggle defensively too early on. So stay away from me on the Bulls side, unless you got anything underrated or chat.
No, I sure don't. It's just day one. It's just watch for me, and listen to you and see if you can find little angles. And how you were telling me about Giddey yesterday. So it'll be funny to see what he does for Chicago. See if he can. It's like they're giving him another chance. We'll see.
They are. All right, we got big rookie of the year candidate, heavy favorite, Edey versus same Jazz unit pretty much. Nothing really changed with them, so we know what we're gonna get. We're gonna get a really bad defense here. So I mean, it's a great spot for all these guys, especially Ja. But he hasn't played in a while, obviously. First game back, and all these guys like Marcus Smart sat out majority of last season. And then obviously you're inserting a new rookie here at the 5. He's going to be going against former big man rookie and Kessler, who he's a good shot blocker. He's a big body, nothing to really fear defensively, but he can definitely hold it down in terms of size and just eating up space in the paint. So not the best like slam dunk matchup whenever Kessler's out there against Edey, because they're very similar body size and play style. So I don't know, if you want some fun action, I mean, you can take Edey's PRA and hope he gets decent run here, and Jazz are breaking away. But it's at 20. It got bumped to 20.5. It was originally 19.5. I think it's still 19.5 on PrizePicks. So you're getting a slight discount. Oh, they finally bumped it. Okay. Well, it was 19.5 like not too long ago, a few minutes ago. They bumped his fantasy too. It opened at 27.5. They bumped his points. It was 10.5 to 11. I think that's just the market driving this, because it's a household name from all the hype from the NCAA tournament and last season and how productive he was. So I get it. The Jazz got crushed by centers if you look at the data last year, but that was when they didn't play Kessler as a traditional center and start him. It was like a makeshift front court. They had John Collins at the 5 a lot, and they were getting just outsized by bigs in the paint. So a little bit different. You got to take that data from last year with a grain of salt. I think where Jazz are going to continue to really struggle is in the backcourt and their defense. It's just really, really lacking there, and definitely exploitable. So Ja and Bain should have their way. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to personally play him, but matchup wise, totally makes sense to roll with Ja here or Bing. What's the spread on that game? Is it 5, 6, 2.5? Wow, they're no respect for Ja coming back, huh? But Jazz being one of the bottom teams in the Western Conference, they would give him a little bit more respect. I guess because Jaren's out, they're not fully in full strength at the Memphis, but the Jazz, they're full good to go. So, and they're in Utah elevation, so they're giving a little credit there for our backing of the Jazz. What do you guys think? Anyone taking Ja today?
Heck no.
I'm good on it, but if anyone, I mean, he has a phenomenal matchup here. Like him and Trey probably have the best matchups in the backcourt today. Clippers Suns. we just have basically old man Harden out there. What is he? 35 now? 36. And it's a Wednesday, so he's playable, right? I mean,
Right.
it's what was the data we found the splits? It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It
Yeah.
started Thursday, yeah,
Yeah.
when the strip clubs start. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you should be good to go. His PRA is really high because there's no Kawhi, and obviously Paul George is gone. Oh, it was 38.5. Okay, so it went down to 37.5. Yeah. He a lot of these games were with Paul George and Kawhi though, so if we take Kawhi off, he had some decent games in there. Kind of lived around that 30 mid 30 range. I mean, one thing with Harden is like he could do it with how he's still fresh, and with him, it's like as the season goes on, he starts to wear down, especially at his age. So I'm probably just gonna leave him alone here because the one thing about the Suns, man, they would get torched by guards. We would take fantasy points for point guards versus them like every time, and if it was a solid point guard, like they would just crush it. I think they were like top 5 all season long for fantasy points allowed to point guards. So. And he's the only one out there. I think he plays huge minutes if it's a competitive game. What's the spread on the game? It's only 5. Favor the Suns. So Suns are fully healthy, good to go. I like the Suns to win this for sure. They added Tyus Jones. That's the only really major addition they added. Everyone else is pretty much the same. Still have Royce O'Neal coming off the bench, Grayson Allen. I think Tyus is really going to help them. Probably going to take a little bit of time for them to really function well together. But I think having a point guard who can actually play make will be good. So you don't have Devin Booker and Beal and switching off like playmaking duties. They can actually play off the ball and shoot now. I think that's really going to help them offensively. Tyus is a pretty solid defender too. So I think it's a much better looking unit if. As of right now for the Suns than last year. Yeah, the Clippers. I don't know. They added they signed Kevin Porter Jr., who's still under investigation for his crime allegations. So there's a lot of controversy on that. We were reading into it last night. It sounds like Ty Lue's gonna let him play, get some run here. How much? I don't know. Up in the air. But they have his lines for him. I don't know how they're coming up with them, but his PRA is 20.5, so that suggests to me that he's going to play a decent run here. I mean, he played some solid minutes in his last preseason game, but that's preseason, so definitely doesn't always translate over. Played 19 minutes in his last preseason game, and he played well. I mean, he had 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 18 points. But yeah, it looks like he was playing mid 15 minutes. Yeah, his lines were super low. I don't know if they still have him on here. They were he had like a 6.5 RA, which is really tempting because now it's on a 6 RA. That was like my favorite prop to ever play when I played Kevin Porter was his RA because he's a really good rebounding guard and he can play make, just like his daddy. So very volatile, super risky, low line. Don't just like Lonzo. Well, I mean, Lonzo, we know how many minutes he's gonna play. He's gonna play 15 minutes, right? But like Porter, he could play 15, he could play 10, he could play 20. No idea. So. And Ty Lue is one coach you cannot trust, right? He is the kind of guy that says one thing and then completely opposite in the game. So, and he changes his rotations within games so much, and does so many different things. So, I cannot trust Ty Lue in this situation enough to play him, but I hope he gets more run. I like Kevin Porter for prop betting for sure. And then other than that, in that team, what else do we have? We have Zubac. and him and Nurk usually go at it. But yeah, I think he's gonna have to play. He's gonna have to play a really big role here, offensively, more so than he did probably last year. So yeah, are his lines super juiced with Kawhi out and that front court being what it is? 13.5 points. Wow, that's high for Zubac. Zubac was always like 10.5 or 11.5 points, right?
Mm-hmm. Can we go under?
How does that make you feel?
Makes me want to go under.
I can't.
Matt says he got
You got
Jaw on chalkboard at 21.5 points, so he's on Jaw.
That's nice, man. That's really good value. He dropped 17 on him last season. Kawhi was out, and Harden, and Theis. So pretty similar to today, except Harden's playing. Yeah, see, that's the big thing is like there's no Daniel Theis and there's no Plumlee. It's just Mo Bamba backing him out, right? So, I mean, they could go when other teams go small. They can go small with Tucker Batum at the 5 too. But yeah, no more splitting minutes for Zubac on with like the Plumlee and Daniel Theis thing. So this could be his year, full run here. Because some games he would play like big minutes, and in other games he would play mid 20s. He was hard to predict on that. So,
how about
we're gonna need him big time today.
How about second half stuff today with all the games going on? You think maybe there's value in kind of seeing how rotations look and smacking some unders possibly?
I think so.
Maybe even some overs, depending.
Yeah, look at this. He only played. There's only how many games is this? Like 9 games. There's only 9 games last season that he played more than 28 minutes. Wow. Okay. Well, when he did play over 28 minutes, he crushed that PRA, right? So the only one game.
He should get it today too, like you said. He should.
He should.
But yeah, his lines are juiced.
What's his fantasy? Oh yeah, look they bumped his PRA already, 29. I would just play the PR then. Let me see. I just want to see. Was he getting stocks on Nurk? Because sometimes, I mean, Nurk's shot volume is so low. How you guys feel about Zubac?
I got a button for that too.
It looks like he got, what, 2 stocks in both games? I don't like this game, though. The hell? 6 points, 3 rebounds, 27 minutes. Yeah, it's Zubac, man, but they need him badly today. Anything else from this game? I mean, there's some low lines if you want to sweat him like a Terrence Mann, but his usage rate and shot volume's so low. Norman Powell's, he's going to chuck. He's going to shoot a lot of threes. Bones Highland when he's in as well. If he's healthy, I haven't even checked on his status. And then I think Derek Jones is an interesting one here. He's going to be filling in at the small forward for Kawhi. So, I mean, he fit the Mavs role really well. Who knows how he fits in the Clippers unit here? But I think last I saw they had his RA at like 4.5. But his rebounding can be weird at times. It bumped. Okay, it's 5 now. Well, don't have to debate on that one anymore. So, yeah, he can ghost hard. So, tread lightly on him. Matt said I was heavy on Big Zoo 21.5 PRA. Oh, he opened at 21.5. Okay, man. So the market really drove him up. He's 20 to 24, huh? Yeah.
Matt got that 21.5 2 slit with Jaw.
There you go. Man, yeah, Harden. I just can't do it at how high these lines are. I normally would say go with his assists with no Paul George, Westbrook, or Kawhi, but who's he passing to? Zubac? PJ Tucker in the corner.
Right. Terrible.
I think he's gonna have to score here. More so, but do I want to rely on? I'll put it this way: do I want to rely on PJ Tucker or Batum to make their threes? And this is speaking in terms of Harden's assists. Do I want to rely on them to make their threes, Man to make his shots, and Derrick Jones to get 5 lob alley oops?
I got a button for that too. That was
No, I
canned
don't.
laughter.
I don't. But I mean, it's Harden. I mean, he's a phenomenal playmaker, right? And it makes sense with the guys that are off the team, but you got to look at the guys that are also on the team that he's passing to, right? So, yeah, I just don't see how the Clippers beat the Suns unless the Suns just shoot so bad and the Clippers get lucky from 3. I do think like with this roster configuration and knowing they're so shorthanded, talent-wise and just bodies, like I just think the Clippers are gonna have to shoot from 3 to keep up. They're gonna chuck a lot from 3, so which could be good for assists. But where were we? One game I skipped over the Cavs Toronto. That game just makes me nauseous thinking about Toronto. They have so many guys already in the injury report. No idea what the rotations are going to be like. Yeah, that should be ugly. I mean, Cavs, their unit's solidified, but this is the type of matchup I always stay away from. Either like Cavs Toronto or Cavs Miami or Miami Toronto, vice versa, whatever. It's like, yeah, I'm good, man. Anything you like from this game, underrated or chat? Nope. I think the only key news for the the Cavs is Strus is out, so that's about it. I think they're otherwise they're full go. Yeah, and like I said, the Raptors they got a bunch of guys out, so.
You always like Grady Dick, though. Don't lie.
No, man, I'm not about the D. So I would say you take the under for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got. I have to look at the full report. They got quite a bit of guys out, so he might get solid run here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me confirm that. Yeah, look at it. RJ's out. Bruce Brown, Kelly O, Walter. So their front court's very thin. I mean, you can get you some Pirtle, but it's a tough matchup for him with the healthy Mobley and then big Jared down there. Pirtle has how many times has he burned you, underrated?
I'd say 32 times, probably, if I remember correctly.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not my friend. It's okay. I mean, today's game 1. Like I said, we're just kind of going over the lineups, checking out the teams again, remembering what we got going on here. I'm going to do some live betting. That's always nice. And we'll have some value, I'm sure, after we see a game or two.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's opening day, man. It's not wise to like go all in on the opening day for sure. I always, like I said, that sweet spot is like after like I want to say each team has played like 2 or 3 games, which is like 2 to 3 weeks in or 2 weeks in, because like yeah,
right.
We watch all the games. We know what's like the rotations, what it looks like at first glance. have a little bit better idea, and then sometimes the bookies just like don't fully adjust, and they'll just a little. They'll like bump it up, like say a assist prop or a point prop, and just bump it a little bit, or fantasy, but they don't bump it clearly enough. So yeah, this is good. This is good, like data collection. I call it this first.
I always feel like these streams are like they're really like researching for the test.
Yeah. But this is a test where we have no idea what the questions are going to be at all.
Pop quiz.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, with how thin the front court is, I totally get it if you want to roll a Pirtle, man. But
I'm waiting for you to get to the Warriors.
Paper, it's just not a good matchup on paper, at all. They still have Boucher and come off the bench. Yeah. I mean, these games that Pirtle popped off against them, it was he played heavy minutes, 35 minutes and 37 minutes. Did we see him playing 37, like around 36 minutes today?
No.
I don't know. I mean, maybe with all those guys out, I don't know. I would say if he plays 35 minutes, then yeah, it's worth a shot. But on the season, I mean, he was barely cracking 30.
Wait till halftime and see.
Why did he play so many minutes those games? Was it just because they needed his size versus the Twin Towers? Did a matchup thing or someone out? Oh, see, Mobley didn't even play in this game. And this is the old Raptors configuration. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, normally I would consider some Scotty Barnes props with all those guys out, but I don't know. The Cavs play at such a slow pace. It's going to be a really slow game. I imagine the total is low 20s. 225. Yeah. Okay, next game. We're almost done. What am I missing?
Warriors.
They're not on here.
Big Warriors aren't on there? What? Why not?
Am I tripping? Oh,
no, I thought I just
had a refresh.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is the second lowest total, I believe, right? Magic, Heat are number one. Yeah, 221, second lowest total.
That's strange. I don't think of Warriors in low totals.
No Clay, aging Steph, a well-aging Steph.
A well-aging. Not aging. Well, aging.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this about the Warriors. You know, I listen to all this stuff, local stuff here, and follow beat writers really closely. Like, this is going to be one of the deepest rotations they're going to run in a long time. And it's going to be changed night to night with Steve Curry. He's going to change it up based on matchup, based on how players are doing day to day. So we're going to see a lot of bodies. Minutes are going to get spread out. But yeah, I think, Steph and Draymond for sure locked them in for their minutes. But other than that, no one's minutes are really safe outside of that. So probably going to be a lot of performance based. I still like Kuminga. I mean, this is a contract year for him. They didn't re-sign him. They could have. Instead, they re-signed Moses Moody, who's going to be playing off the bench. He could, but Moody could start a lot of games too. He just looked good in preseason. So this is it for Kuminga. If he wants to get paid like a superstar that he thinks he is and claims he is, then he's got to show up this year. He got a new haircut. He's got the Cisco dyed hair going look. So new fresh start. He's calling it.
What are his lines? What are his lines looking like?
He balled
today?
out last season, right?
Yeah, he did.
Games. The what?
He did. What are his lines looking like? Anything?
Yeah, 17 points. I would just, for him, it's just points. Like his rebounding is finicky. Like it can't be trusted. I mean, he has improved his rebounding over time, but it's still he can pick up a couple assists. But I mean, the PRA is only up to 24.5. You could take a stab at it, but I would just say points. He's just gonna look to score, man, and get his. He's worked on his 3-point shot. I don't know if you remember, he has that really weird release that comes out really extended and far, and it's really slow. Now he's improved it. It's much faster release, so we'll see how that goes. If he can improve, if his 3-point shot really improves from what it's been, he can really rack up the points this year. I think he could average over 20 for sure. But he needs that 3-point shot.
Who wins in a 3-point contest, him or Mikal Bridges?
Oh man, I think they tie. I think they tie.
They couldn't get him up and fast enough.
Yeah. Let's look at head to head last year. He only played 17 minutes, 19 minutes, 30 minutes, won by 20, had 11 points. 34 minutes, he had 19 points. Let's look at his PRA. Yeah, I mean, I will say towards the end of the season, the Blazers at least on the perimeter, they weren't slouches on defense, right? There were some hungry guys out there trying to get contracts and stay on a team. Their perimeter defense actually wasn't terrible. It was where they were getting killed inside the paint. It's where they were getting killed.
And now we have Denny. Yay! We're going to the championship.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a interesting question here. Mr. Who Dat Stuff says, any Fliff PRA alts you have in mind for bankroll building?
Oh. Okay, yeah, we can look at that. I don't have my phone with me.
But it's kind of the same thing, right? It's day one. It's a little difficult to have any too sure bets. So come back with that question in a few days. We'll have some data, right?
Oh, for sure. 1,000%. Yeah, I mean, could definitely, I don't know how much you're going to alt or juicy one, but guys like Maxey, alt that down. I mean, Harden, all those guys are going to have the most usage, but I'm sure it's going to be super juiced to alt down. But maybe we can find some better ones, like maybe even guys like Pods, if you alt his PRA down, because it's already preloaded 18.5, 17.5. Because it's just the scoring is hard to trust, but like he's gonna get the RA for sure.
Can you alt RA?
It wasn't. I don't know. That's a good question. Like him, I only trust him for his RA. I don't trust him for his scoring.
You can.
They had it. They had it at 8.5.
I see.
First dropped him, and now
8.5 minus 145. We can go all the way down to 4.5, but it's minus 2,600, which is a little crazy.
9. You can go down to what? 4.5.
Yeah, but it's minus 2,500, so that's not really going to help you much, unless you're on the same
sucks.
game.
Like, I was hoping they would do like a on a 2 scale or something like that, like a 6.5.
Yeah.
But
if we look at PRA, maybe. PRA, they have 14.5 at minus 340. That's not bad, right? 14.5 minus 340.
14.5?
Yeah. 14.5.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I would new Kuminga. I would alt Kuminga's points too. Maybe to 13.5 as well, or 12.5. I feel it's pretty solid.
I would alt Kuminga's haircut.
You like it?
Or dye, I should say. Yeah, him and D'Angelo Russell looking cool.
One thing we talked about early in the week is I was like, this season, we got to ride. Me and Reddy used to ride Draymond's assists all the time back in the day, prior to Chris Paul joining last year and messing everything up. But it's usually money. And I watched all the preseason games, and he looks like he's back to playmaking Draymond now with Chris Paul gone. and him just running the offense. Because last year, he started late in the season, and he had the suspension, so he could never really get the flow going. But I expect him to go back to playmaking here. He's at 5.5. But first game of the season, I just wanna wait and see, because I don't the preseason games, that's preseason. Like I said, not all of what you see in preseason is what's gonna happen in the regular season. So sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So
he says he has pods at 5.5 RA minus 600 on FanDuel.
that's not bad.
He'll get that 5.5, huh? I mean, nothing's a lock, but
yeah.
He should get that.
That's a lot. I mean, he could get that in just rebounds, but yeah. I back to the Draymond thing. I mean, with what the total is, it has me a little scared. I think he's gonna have his hands full trying to stop Ayton, because Draymond's probably gonna start at the 5, so he might have to focus a lot on defense, which might make him pass more and not look to score more. But I don't know. I'm gonna wait for the right matchup. Let's see how he does. I mean, two of those preseason games I watched, he had 5 assists in like just the second quarter. So yeah, if he's working with Steph like he normally does, and Steph's hitting his shots, and then when guys like Buddy Hield or Moses Moody come in and Draymond overlaps minutes with them and they're hitting their threes, you definitely get it. You just need the Warriors hit their threes. That's it. But yeah, Blazers defensively, I want to double check. I mean, I know towards the end of the season they started stepping up. So on the perimeter, we always attacked them in the paint for sure. Yeah, see, last year to the 2 guard they allowed the least amount of threes made per game. Bet you couldn't have guessed that underrated. 2.73.
It's pretty good.
Their perimeter defense was pretty good. It was pretty good. Point wise, they did get up to the point guard.
I do actually remember that. Yeah, they weren't too bad with that.
Yeah, remember they're like taking assists versus them was kind of weird too.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
First glance, you'd think it would be great, but then look into it and not really.
Yeah, it's gonna. The Warriors are gonna be really weird this year. I want to see the official starting lineup. I think it's gonna be Steph, Wiggins, Kuminga, Draymond. Yeah, and Draymond at the 5, and then they're just probably gonna rotate that 5 position a lot with Trace Jackson and Looney. And yeah, they'll have pods. So let's see if Wiggins can knock down some threes this year. And then Melton's going to play a big role off the bench too. For sure. Yeah, so I'll probably wait and see on I'm going to hold off on the Warriors. I might ult Kuminga's points down. Feel a little bit better about it. And let's see, there's a goblin ad on here. Probably should just typed it in. Or just take the 17.5. It's 12.5. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Might ult that like on flip or something. But Portland side, wrap it up. It's a great spot for Ayton. I haven't read anything on him though. So after this, I need to go read up on him and see how health status, all that. What the coach is saying. Like, I want to make sure everything's normal, but this is a great spot for him. His points are all the way down to 15.5. It opened at 16.5. Now it's all the way down to 15.5. I mean, that's on this Portland team that needs him. That's pretty good value. Head to head, played 29 minutes. Yeah. It's probably the only Blazer I would consider. You like Aiden?
Not particularly.
There you go.
But I mean,
Yeah,
it's just what
first
today
game of the
is.
season.
Yeah.
I mean, what's his fantasy? What is it? Like 35, 34? What is it? 34 and a half? Man, if Draymond stays out of foul trouble, doesn't do anything stupid, I mean, his fantasy could be in play. I wish it was like 27 and a half. That's what it should be. Just looking through these fantasy scores where you can find an edge. A lot of I noticed like these first games they're really juicing these fantasy lines. So we don't have any Zion news yet.
I haven't seen any come through.
One person I didn't mention is Bogdan. I think he has a pretty easy matchup when he checks in off the bench against that second unit. So definitely consider his PRA. Let me just see, because he'll be going against guys like Keon Johnson and Shake Milton.
Embiid is out at least the first 3 games. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why I liked Maxi's that season long 25 points. Yeah, nothing's jumping out to me here. I mean, it's just besides the unders I would consider. 37 is pretty high here for marketing. Yeah. Let's see if I covered everything I was taking notes on. Yeah, pretty much did. I definitely, if you're like trying to decide or favor one, you're on the fence about a prop or something like that. I mean, I would definitely favor on the side of unders on this opening day for these teams. I mean, obviously some of these guys, one of them will have a big game, but like, especially with teams with completely new units and new players, like it's just, yeah, they're gonna take time to work together, man, and a lot of times these guys come out rusty. So, and Vegas knows that. That's why the totals are so low. If this was like we were in December right now or January, like some of these matchups, they would be a 245. Like Pistons, Pacers, I'm pretty sure every matchup last year was like 244, 245. Hawks, their games were always really high. Rockets, Hornets would definitely would be up there. So yeah, and then Memphis and Jazz, that like on a normal day, regular mid-season, that would definitely be over 240 total. So with the pace both of them run and the lack of defense on both sides. So I think that Vegas is hinting to us that we should not expect normal production in most of these games. Money line wise, I'm still sticking with the Suns. I'm gonna take the Suns, and then it's again anything can happen on the first day. Like we saw the Celtics almost break the record, but just due to which guys are in or out on that game. Taking the Bucks here. Bucks were a weird team last year to bet on. Games that they should have absolutely won. They blew it, but you got Doc Rivers coming back, revenge game for him in Philly after getting fired by them. So no Embiid, no Paul George. We just need Dame and Giannis to do the things. Right, underrated?
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. Yeah, but we saw what they did last year. Hopefully, 1 year under their belt, hopefully they'll come back like they're supposed to. But we shall see.
Yeah. And then top it off with the heaviest favorite on the slate, which are the Rockets. Might consider just taking the cover of the spread, but I would hate it like if they roll out the bench in a blowout and then the bench guys bring the score back close enough to that 8-point spread. So I might just roll with that 3-pick money line parlay. It is money line, so I'm probably just gonna do a half unit on it, just to get some action fun. Get you on DK, gets you a plus 200. I'm sure on flip it's a little bit less value because they tend to tax each line more so. So it's probably like what, plus 180 if you have it up on the rating.
Yeah, probably. Something like that.
Yeah. Anything else you guys like or chat? Let's see, pods. Hey, thanks for the sub, Lemonade. Glad you're here, man. Yeah, I'm excited. Like, normally with the streams, like once we have data and stuff, we can really go through and look at matchups and stuff. But obviously, we can't do that day one because new teams, new units, and no data. So we're just kind of going off of last season, but things have definitely changed because, yeah, there's even new coaches too. So, like the Pistons today, that are going to start here shortly. They have a new coach as well and new players. So kind of just going out on a whim on that. But yeah, you got anything else on already?
No, it's cool to just look through the teams and see what players moved and who's out, who's in, and just kind of gather some info is all this is for to me. So I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really like give exact play this prop, but we kind of just went through it, and maybe it helps you with your decision making. You know, you do your own research, add it onto that, and it can help. But going forward, like once we have the data and we can actually break it down, then we can actually start to build some cards on here and or make some different parlays, suggested parlays that people can roll with. But yeah, being the first day, man, I wouldn't feel good about just saying, oh yeah, this is a lock, play this. I'm not going to do that. You know, I'm only going to do that when stuff I feel confident on based on my research. So yeah, this hopefully just gives you a breakdown, some insight, and helps with your process and decision making on which props you want to go with. So yeah, I'm gonna take a stab at Maxi's, either his PRA or RA under.
Lemonade says, is there anything that you like or love from the Heat game? Probably not, right?
No.
He says no.
That's one of the games I like the least.
Yeah, don't play with that game.
This is all if Zion plays, but even if he plays, I think he's gonna be limited. I might just have to stay away from Ingram here. I might. Jalen Green, you can definitely consider his points, or if you're in the books, is 2.5 3-point made, or 32 fantasies, but potential blowout risk here. Mather is just more of a bench piece. It does well in this matchup. Oh, but they bumped his PRA, but maybe you can find it at 16.5 somewhere else. Yeah, Ayton is more the lean here, and then Kuminga, I like his either alt point or his 12.5 alt or 17 points, and then Trey. I like Trey's alted points here. I don't want to, since he got bumped, I might have considered his original 24.5. I think it started at 24.5, then went to 25.5, and now it's at 26.5. I'm pretty sure. So I don't want to pay that much tax, but it's a phenomenal spot for him. Or his 10 assists, right? Yeah, those are all leans, man. Definitely, I need to wait on Ben Simmons news. Or Ben Simmons and lineup. If he's starting. 40.5. We talked about, as a group, we talked about Zubac. But all his lines are pretty juiced now. We talked about, Ren brought up Sengun. 14.5 RA, I believe.
And you like, I think, Ja a little bit?
Did like Ja, but oh man,
too high.
Okay, all right. If I was gonna play him, if I was gonna roll, if there's people out there that like him, and I was gonna roll with you, I would just play his fantasy. Fantasy was like point guard, versus the Jazz and Sun, their fantasy was always money. So it's high though. I would only play his fantasy when it was like that high if like Bane or someone was out. But Jaren Jackson's out. That does help because Jaren Jackson does eat up shot volume.
No. Small leans if you want some action, but smash plays coming soon.
Yes, sir. Am I missing? Oh, and Quinn, someone else liked singing his fantasy. I think it was 35.5, right? Might alt 8 and down too. Just do like a little alt stack bankroll builder on Fliff. I think that's the way to go for the first day. If you just want some action, but you also want like a reason to watch the games and in order to see how teams function, stuff like that. Just I might just use it as like bankroll builder and just alt some lines and parlay them together on Fliff and roll with that. So because like I said, we have no idea with some of these teams the first day. What's his alt line? 11.5? Yeah. All right. How many games tomorrow underrated?
Good question. Let's look.
Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 games only.
11. Okay. So we try to stream around the same time then.
That works for me.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's see if we take him down to 11.5. Yeah.
Might actually have some plays that we really like tomorrow. Possibly.
Why is that?
I don't know, because they actually got a game under their belt.
Oh, the Celtics? I'm not touching the Celtics, man.
Celtics.
How much 3-point shooting? No.
No, no, we don't want Celtics ever. Oh, these other teams haven't played the first game? Even? Kings, Timberwolves played. I guess not many, huh?
Yeah.
Mavs, Spurs, Thunder, Nuggets. Thunder Nuggets. Sounds funny. Okay, well, close to it. I guess Friday will be the first day where we really probably have a little bit of something. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's a big slate on Friday. What is that, 8? Yep, 9. 10 again on Friday. Okay. Ooh-wee.
Oh, wow. KJ Martin's starting. Interesting. All right. What time to start?
Ren says loves Jaws fantasy.
You love Jaws fantasy?
Ren says he does.
Great spot for him, man. There you go, Ren. I'll put it on there for you. Whew. Expensive. Stack them up with Zubac.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and then Bogdan, man. One thing I want to look at him real quick. It's a little pricey. It might be good on that. But yeah, 15.5 is too steep for me, man. I was hoping for like 13.5, 14.5. All right. You got anything else? KJ Martin starting to 4 Philly. Yeah, I just saw that. It's interesting. So I mean, they're not going with not going with Caleb Martin, obviously. So, I mean, Martin's a better scoring option than Caleb, so that could be good if you want to take a stab at the really juiced max CPR the under. How many threes is Brook Lopez and Bam hitting today? Underrated.
Bam 0, Lopez 2.
All right. Hold you to that bet. I'm gonna go Brolo 1, and I think Bam hits 1.
Ew.
He was chucking him in preseason. We'll
Was
see.
he? What the heck for?
I don't know. Let me just double check before we get out of here. I'm pretty sure they want him to shoot more from outside.
They want Butler to shoot threes too? It's going to be a terrible looking game.
Look at this. Preseason 2 of 5.
Oh,
2
wow.
of 3, 1 of 3.
Oh, he might hit one then.
I mean, in the regular season, he normally was taking like what, 1 3 a game? If that.
Yeah, I don't remember him
like
shooting threes.
My game's just 0. Look at this 0 0 0 0.
Ren says he's to go on Brolo 3-point prop.
Yeah?
That's what he says.
They got rid of Bam's. They did have Bam's 0.5 on here last night. Remember? I tagged you with it.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Oh, it's a goblin now.
Oh god.
Oh, I cannot play that. Bam as a goblin 3, man.
Play the demon at 1.5. You think he's gonna go for it? It's always telling. It's always telling when they only have more. You can't go under. You always know that's not the play.
Yeah. They don't have his 1.5 on here. Yeah, I will say, man, like all these teams out the gate, at least. I mean, it's only 2 games last night, but it just seems like the league is just shifting more and more to 3-point shooting. So, yeah. Now, you might want to consider 3-point props today. Now that we have a lot of them, at least on PrizePicks, like if you're playing on here, because once the season goes on, they start to really cut back on the 3-point props and are super selective on them. So, but maybe we just get a lot of them as Goblin or Demons. But yeah. Alrighty. I'm going to catch up on news. If you're new, check us out. Join our Discord and we go over the plays. Keep up with the news. We have to do like a voice chat like for lock. So I'm going to try to hop on that soon with everyone. It's a good way for everyone just to have questions and talk things, ideas out, and then track news all together, build some cards together. And then, we drop plays in there, our favorite plays throughout the day, night before, too, if there's early value. So I think, Discord link is in the description below. And I think we're still doing a 7-day trial. Free trial, right? Yep, 7 days free. So, all right. Yeah, we work around the clock 24/7 on this, man. So if you want to come around, definitely join the Discord. And always up, whether it's sweating, Aussie stuff at night or Asian baseball now, but that's coming to an end. But yeah, we'll be there.
Wen says Brolo's dropping 3 of them. You know Drummond doesn't like to leave the paint. He said, "Put it down, Brolo, 3 of them." And on that note,
the Ren card.
Yeah. Jaw over fantasy. Brolo over 2.5 threes.
There you go. The Ren slip.
$20 to win 115. Woo! All right.
There you go.
If that hits today, we're gonna have to do something.
Just gotta make sure Brolo doesn't shit his pants.
Oh, I hate Brolo so much. Caveman Brolo. Suggs, KCP, Franz. The starting lineup is in.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, we can get out of here and we'll be back tomorrow. The Ren
All right,
slip.
guys.
Yes, sir. We're still here. All right, guys.
Click the button.
All right, guys. Later.